Hello and welcome to another edition of the FootballCoin Fantasy Scouts, and today we have a treat. We'll be doing something a little special. All this talk of legends and great players got us thinking about who would make the greatest fantasy football team of all time, and helping us today is Eduard.
Thank you. It's good to be back.
Glad you're back. So, if I got this right, you have a first 11 plus substitutes. Who would make the ultimate fantasy football team? We're just going through the history of football, right?
Yeah, let's say the best player in each football position I will choose in fantasy football.
That's brilliant. And hopefully we're going to compare them a little bit with what we have now. So hit me.
Yes, let's see the all-time best. In the goal, as a goalkeeper, I choose Manuel Neuer.
Really?
Yeah.
I have to say, I don't know what you're choosing, so this is a surprise. And I'll be honest, I am surprised about Neuer. Why?
I'm going with Neuer because he's great in the goal. He has a perfect footwork, gives good passes. He's like a keeper sweeper.
Right, yeah. Is he better than, when we're choosing the ultimate, is he better than, I don't know, some of the legendary keepers we've seen through the years?
From the aspect of fantasy football, I think he's the best. He will return you the best points.
Right, so you're thinking clean sheets, you're thinking defensive passes. Right, that's
then
very
he
interesting.
can do also interceptions. You saw him play.
Yeah. So
he's brilliant.
He's actually been in the news lately. I suppose the answer is clear, but are you a Neuer fan or a Ter Stegen man for the Germany national?
Neuer all the way.
Neuer all the way.
He's a leader.
It's
He's a leader.
Interesting point. All right, so that was a first surprise. What else do we have?
As a wingback, I go with Roberto Carlos.
Wow, yeah, he was brilliant. Tell us why.
He was brilliant. He was defending. He was going all over attack. He was overlapping, sending crosses, making interceptions, providing passes, assists, goals, free kicks, everything. You cannot ask more than this.
I'll tell you, when we were kids and somebody would be taking free kicks, that's automatically what we'd call them. What do you think, you're Roberto Carlos? He was like the standard.
Great.
It's a brilliant player, yeah. 2 World Cup champions so far.
Yeah. As a quarterback, center back, Paolo Maldini.
Wow, yeah, class,
elegant in possession. Long passes, what you need from a quarterback. He's there, he's in my team. All-time great.
And obviously also the longevity. He played for so many years at a top level. AC Milan leader of Italy. Won almost every trophy there is. So couldn't really blame you there.
We go further as a sweeper. Franz Beckenbauer.
Again,
great in possession. He was defending, going with the ball further up the pitch, playing in the midfield, going back to defend. Amazing. If he was still active, he would run the team as points.
Right, yeah, and again an incredible leader, if I'm thinking of it. So the kind of player that would just take the game by the scruff of its neck and create something. Brilliant there as well. Yeah, can't really argue with that. What do we have on left?
We are still in the center.
Oh,
with
okay.
the stopper as a center back, Carles Puyol from Barcelona.
Puyol, really?
Yeah. Just remember the goals. The goal from the World Cup against Germany, the goals scored from after a corner kick with the head. He was scoring goals, making tackles, winning every battle in the defense.
And obviously the captain of a extremely successful Barcelona and Spain sides. So that's interesting. I admit I wouldn't have really thought of it, but Puyol's absence actually in the last few years, you can definitely feel
You
that.
can feel it at Barcelona. The lion is not there anymore.
Right.
We go with the fullback. In his prime moment, he won the European Championship with Spain, the World Cup with Spain. Sergio Ramos.
Wow. That's interesting and a bit controversial, but
He played as a right back, he played as a center back. He even played as a defensive midfielder when Real needed this. He's a complete defender.
can't really argue with the stats though. I mean, so many trophies and still the leader of Madrid. Would that actually be a card you would perhaps invest in? Still something you'd go after in fantasy football?
Yes, definitely. I think Sergio has still 3 or 4 years left at the top of the game. He will surely catch the next World Cup.
Right. So not
He
past his prime.
wants to be there. He's the soul of Real Madrid right now, and the Spanish team, they are building around him, and that's great because he gets the respect that he really deserves. This player, it became an icon even though he's still playing.
Right, yeah.
Now we are going to the first defensive midfielder, the playmaker.
All right.
We are going with Xavi Hernandez from Barcelona and Spain.
Wow, yeah, that's a brilliant choice.
Xavi is tiki-taka.
Is there any better passer than Xavi? Passing, movement.
He passes. He thinks the game before he delivers the passes. He was so quick in choosing the right decisions. He's there. He's my favorite defensive midfielder as a playmaker.
And very interesting, yeah. And
he played as a number 6 in Barcelona, even though he had Busquets to cover him. Busquets was the ball winner also. He was gifted in passing, but Xavi is the number 6.
That was a bit of a different era, yeah. Playmakers who played
deeper.
Yeah, there's fewer of those now.
Yeah.
Maybe you'd think of Paul Pogba, obviously not really having.
You have Thiago now. You have Thiago at Bayern.
Right.
You have Thiago at Bayern. Maybe sometimes it's Jordan Anderson at Liverpool.
Maybe not quite as technically exciting as Xavi or Scholes or maybe even Pirlo.
But I think the best replacement when Xavi left Barcelona, it was Thiago, but they decided to let him at Bayern.
A very active player though, Frankie de Jong. We'll see if he manages to reach similar heights. Not so far, but he's still young. He's just made his debut for Barcelona. Hit me, what else do we have in midfield?
Defensive midfielder as a ball winner.
Alright.
The tower of Arsenal when they were unbeaten. Patrick
Vieira.
Amazing player. Absolutely amazing and gifted. He had vision. He had power. He was a powerhouse in the midfield. He was doing everything for Arsenal.
And let me just ask.
He was the backbone of the legendary Arsenal team that won the title undefeated. Amazing player.
Right, the Invincibles. Let me just ask him, maybe zooming ahead a bit. Is it Vieira but not Roy Keane? And if so, why?
I also like Roy Keane, but in my opinion, for fantasy football, Vieira was better. He was scoring more points because Vieira was also going further up the pitch, and he was helping the team also in the attack, I think, more than Roy Keane. He was taller, he was winning more aerial duels.
Could well be, yeah.
And also, let's not forget that Patrick Vieira was also an essential player for France, for the national team that was having Henry or Zidane in the team.
Just to break into those squads, that's amazing, yeah.
Very good team.
Yeah, absolutely.
Center midfielder, the number 8, the box-to-box midfielder. We are going with the German engine, Lothar Matthäus.
Oh yeah.
What you can say, he played everything. He played as a center back. He was also a midfielder, number 10 when needed. Long career. He was playing at Euro in 2000. How old was he? Almost 40 or
I think so. I think he played at like maybe 4 World Cups. I may be wrong. Like I said, I didn't know your choices ahead of time, but yeah, obviously Matthäus was very impressive. Played with the best. I mean, generations of German players passed through that team, and he was always there.
World Cup winner in '90 against Argentina. He did a great job against Argentina in the final. He was decisive.
And the kind of player who's, it seemed that his intelligence and just how dedicated he was, that really counted for a lot.
And you can count on every game that Matthäus was giving everything for the team.
Absolutely, great choice, yeah.
We are going to the attacking midfielder, the number 10.
All right.
The one and only Maradona, Diego Armando Maradona. Best player this planet ever saw, in my opinion.
Your favorite player as well,
yes.
Right? I know it's what can you say about Maradona?
He won in '86 the world title, and he dragged the team to the final, and in the final he was the man who everybody looked up to him. He provided the assist at the Argentinian third goal. Germany was coming back, it was 2-1, but Maradona found the assist for the third goal.
Incredible
He
skill.
was so good for Napoli also. He won the UEFA Cup with Napoli.
The speed, the skill, and probably the most, I mean, fans of Pele might be a bit upset about that, or of Cruyff, but I think he's probably worldwide the most beloved player ever. Even more so maybe than Messi and Ronaldo now. He's
an icon. We are talking about Cruyff, and we are going to the false 9, where we have the Johan Cruyff.
Great Johan Cruyff.
Is my choice for the false 9 position. The inventor of total football.
Yes.
So good as player and manager. He reinvented football in so many ways. He was a genius.
And still incredibly exciting just seeing videos of him playing for Ajax or Barcelona or the Netherlands. Just an incredibly exciting player. Great imagination, I'd say, above everything else. I mean, obviously technique and physique, but just great imagination.
Unfortunately, he never won a World Cup, but he has finals. Still the best false 9 that football ever saw.
Right, yeah.
We are going into the side midfielder, and I'm choosing this position Gheorghe Hagi.
I'll be honest, I was kind of hoping to see him there.
Yes.
Is it fair? Is it just, fandom? But do you think it's fair?
Let's remember '94 World Cup. What goals he scored! Long shots from the side midfield of the pitch. He was
strong,
exceptional dribbler.
Great leadership skills.
He was carrying the team to victory.
Yeah, and
Amazing
doing something
player.
in just about every
Played
game.
at Real Madrid, played at Barcelona. What Maradona was for Napoli, Hagi was for Galatasaray.
Right, absolutely. And apart from probably his Hristo Stoichkov, he might just be the most famous player of Central Eastern European region. I think
together with Hristo Stoichkov and Lev Yashin.
Right. True.
We are going to the winger, the king of today's football, Lionel Messi.
It's hard to create an ultimate team without him, right?
Yeah. So many individual trophies, so many club trophies, decisive player for the team, exceptional dribbler.
Were you ever, if we had this conversation 5 years ago, would you have already placed him on the ultimate team? Were you ever worried he wasn't gonna be
Since 2006, I was keeping an eye on him when he went to the World Cup in Germany, and he was good. You can see that he has a brilliant future. Lionel Messi.
Right now, a lot of people would call him maybe the best, or certainly up there, and his career is far from over. So definitely.
Forward number 11 in our team, Romario.
I gotta tell you, one of my all-time favorite players.
People just forget how good he was. Technical, creative,
and brave.
Goal scorer.
He wasn't necessarily like a big guy, but he went against all the defenders.
He won the World Cup with Brazil in '94. I think he was then the best player in the tournament.
I think so, yeah.
He won the best player trophy and also a member of the winning side of Barcelona, the first Champions League.
Yeah.
He scored so many goals.
And very spectacular, just those runs towards the defense.
Vicious forward.
Incredible,
very good.
Definitely.
Striker, there is no second thought here. Ronaldo, R9, Ronaldo Nazario, the Brazilian. If he didn't pick the injury, he could have become the greatest player the world have ever seen. Let's not forget that he moved from Barcelona to Inter, and then he found a very tough championship where players were just giving him fall after fall. They were hitting him.
Let's just imagine now, because we're thinking in fantasy football terms. What would a Ronaldo be doing?
Goal points at every match. Now the rules are much more enforced. The rules are enforced, are stricter, and get a yellow card much faster than when R9 was playing in Italy. Let's not forget what he did against the Milan defense when he just got to shoot on the goal without problems after he dribbled 4 or 5 players. And we are talking about Maldini and defense.
Is there anyone who from football right now?
No.
No one will compare.
No.
No Aguero, no Lewandowski, no.
No way.
No way.
Not even Mbappe. They are not even close to Ronaldo. Ronaldo was phenomenal.
That's very interesting, yeah.
We are going to the reserves now.
I'll be honest with you, I haven't counted. I'm just hoping that those were 11, but I'm thinking you maybe snuck someone in there. But let's see, who'd make the bench?
As a goalkeeper, Lev Yashin. Great goalkeeper. In '66 at the World Cup, he was the leader of the Soviet Union. Amazing player.
Just to mention this, if this was real fantasy football, there in FootballCoin at least, their points would be cut down by 50%. But still, obviously, very helpful.
Still, Yashin will get you a lot of points, even if you have him now on the bench.
Right.
As a defender, maybe it's a surprise for you, but I'm going with a double UEFA Champions League winner with 2 Eastern European teams. Steaua Bucharest and Red Star Belgrade, Miodrag Belodedic.
That's an interesting choice. Graceful
defender. I never saw him make a fall.
Sure, yeah, incredible.
He was taking the ball, giving the right passes, elegant in possession, so confident in the possession.
So great ball playing defender.
Yeah.
And obviously
Clinical.
the success to get 2 Champions Leagues so fast with 2 different teams, both from Eastern Europe. Is that ever gonna happen again? Probably not.
Probably not. We are going in the midfield with Ronaldinho.
Oh.
Midfield. Maybe Ronaldinho didn't see his career at full potential, but as a dribbler, he was on the top of the game. Gifted, talented.
Absolutely. I mean, I think there's no.
He ended his career at the highest level, at top level, maybe too fast. He left Barcelona.
I was
Maybe
going to
we
joke
had
that maybe
2 or 3 years more to see from this magician. I'm so sorry that we couldn't see the best Ronaldinho, but sometimes this happens with Brazilian players.
I was going to joke that probably, I know he retired recently, that I was going to joke that probably we could still have him in fantasy football in real life. I mean, obviously he played a lot, but not necessarily top level. But I'll be honest, when I was a kid, there's no other player that was as imitated as Ronaldinho. So that was another like Maradona. He was worldwide famous and beloved. So very good choice.
As a forward, the last player in our team, and I made these choices on their prime form. It's Stoichkov.
Stoichkov, okay.
Aggressive goal scorer. When Stoichkov was trying to get a goal, he will get it. He was so aggressive and so inspired in front of the goal scoring machine.
I know Johan Cruyff called him the bad milk of Barcelona, like the venom of Barcelona.
Yeah, and let's not forget that he won the Ballon d'Or, the Golden Ball in 1994 he won because he had a great World Cup with Bulgaria.
Yeah, their best performance ever. He got them to the semi-finals, I think, right?
Yeah. He won the Champions League with Barcelona. He was teammate with Romario. You're scoring goals like it was nothing.
One of those players, like you said, with just about everything, not just aggression, but technique and speed and leadership skills. Incredible player.
So, any surprises in my team or any surprises that didn't make the team?
There are a lot of surprises on your team, I'll be honest with you. I'm just thinking, okay, so we're talking best players ever. Maybe defenders, and I'll just ask for your opinion. You got Maldini there. What about Baresi? Franco Baresi, just, diminutive player, small player, but could read the game really well. Also played a lot of years for Milan, won trophies.
Yeah, these are my choices. Baresi is very good, but I picked what I consider to be the best.
Right, yeah. I was curious also about Ronaldo, but like you said, you based him on his peak performance, but that also gets us to another point. No Cristiano Ronaldo.
That's a tough question, but as you saw my team, there are players that can take so many points from dribbling, passes completed. Ronaldo, Cristiano is more like a lone wolf. He will score when is needed, but these players bring you points from other scoring
opportunities. Right, yeah, because in the end, that's really what it's about. I mean, last week we had Bernardo Silva scoring 71 points, and yeah, he's got a hat-trick, but don't forget, Silva was one of those players that keeps passing, keeps moving the ball, so everything he does basically adds to your point tally.
Yeah, and also you need assists, and I don't think Cristiano Ronaldo provides so many assists as other players. You can see Messi or Maradona can bring you.
Any younger players from this generation? I'm thinking immediately of maybe Mbappe. Do you think maybe in a few years they might be able to cut this team? This was a real team.
Football has changed now. Now football is different. It's harder to find spaces. Football is much more tactical now. I don't know what to say. I really don't know, but there are some players as Gabriel Jesus, Leroy Sané that I'm keeping an eye on.
Absolutely.
Just people say that Mbappe is the new Henry, but it's too early to say that Henry was an all-time great. He won the European Championship with France, World Cup with France, Champions League final and with Arsenal, Champions League winner with Barcelona, legend of Arsenal Football Club. You cannot compare these two players. Henry was taller. He had a bigger frame. He had the curve shot. Mbappe is explosive. They are kind of different.
Right. Well, we might get to see Gabriel Jesus this weekend.
I want to see more of Gabriel Jesus, but I don't want to see him at City anymore because there is Agüero. Jesus is building a career and he needs a club where he plays every match at least. Yes.
Yeah, that does make sense. He's a bit in the shadow of
he's in the shadow, and it's not the moment. You can compare him with Ronaldo when R9 was playing in the Netherlands, but then R9 was
PSV.
Yeah, he was getting on the pitch every match. He was scoring goals. He was finding his rhythm, and he was amazing. But now Jesus stays on the bench, and he there up front is Agüero. He cannot get so many minutes.
So I'm just going to use that as an opportunity to segue into reminding you that obviously this weekend we're going to have a lot of football actions. That means a lot of fantasy football action. If that's your thing, and we're sure hoping it is, register to FootballCoin, create your free drafts, and hopefully get some XFC cryptocurrency as prizes. This was a very interesting list, I have to admit. Thank you very much, Eduard.
I'm glad to be here and to have football conversations with you.
Yeah, that was brilliant. That actually, I'll be honest with you, once we end this, I'm probably just going to go on YouTube and look up some Ronaldo and Maradona highlights, because obviously those players were artists.
And tomorrow, don't forget that we'll receive the questions in the podcast. Fans can send us questions via Facebook, and we will answer top 5 questions in the
absolutely
while we are live.
Yeah. So we're gonna try a live edition tomorrow. That's gonna be exciting. Gonna take some questions and gonna preview the weekend football ahead.
Friday evening preview is the most important because all the news about injuries, probable lineups, match previews are live then.
Absolutely, yeah. That's gonna be a lot of help. Thank you again, Eduard.
Thank you.
I'll be hearing you tomorrow.